Everyone, let us discuss what is foreign trade, one of the very important chapter. How the trade is conducted, what are the reasons, what are the norms of international trade. All this you will study in this chapter. Now let us understand the meaning or what is foreign trade. Every country has geographical boundaries and it has been legally defined. Suppose if you are dealing with import or export other than the geographical boundaries of your country, it is foreign trade. That is, that we might import goods from Japan or Korean cities. Foreign trade of a country refers to its import and export of merchandise from and to other countries under the contract of sale. Merchandise means buying and selling of goods or commodities, those have physical existence. No country in the world produces all the commodity it requires. No country in the world is self sufficient and self reliant. They either have to import or export. Exchange of goods and services between two or more or different countries, and such trade is known as international trade. When there is transactions of import and export between two countries, it is termed as foreign trade or international trade. It is the one and the same. Now let us discuss what is import. This you might have studied it in junior classes. Um, if the seller is abroad and buy in its home country, then such kind of goods we term it as import. Import means that we are demanding goods from other country in our country, that is import. And what is export? It's vice versa. If a seller in the home country is selling their goods to abroad, that we send spices and all such kind of agricultural items to the rest of the world, that is export. Now let us understand what is the difference between domestic trade and international trade. Now in domestic trade, there are no barriers or barriers are little more easier, and it is liberal as compared to international or foreign standard. Now let us understand what is home trade. Conduct within the boundaries of a country in its geographical boundaries. Suppose we are buying apples from Kashmir, then it is not foreign trade, it is home trade. Conducted beyond the national boundaries or excluding your geographical boundaries, if you are selling or buying, that is termed as foreign trade. The transaction is carried on with one currency. It is very easier because in India, suppose if you buy or sell from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, only one currency is there, but that cannot happen in the world. When you deal with number of transactions with the world, then the currency changes. You have to convert your rupee into dollar or pound. Transaction is carried on in convertible currencies. Now, in case of home trade, there are no restrictions in the movement of goods and factors of labor. There are no restrictions as such. But when I talk about foreign trade, there are some restrictions, norms, and all this legal formalities. You have to conduct it thoroughly. Then and then only the foreign trade will happen. Now documents usually are relatively very simple. It is the documentation is not complex. You don't need any license uh, when you are dealing with one or more states. But when in case of foreign trade, you need a license for import and export, and documents are little complex to handle. The insurance of goods are optional. It's your wish. If you want to get your goods insured, it's okay. If you don't, it's fine in case of home trade. But this will not happen in case of foreign trade. Insurance of goods are meant to be compulsory. Then in case of home trade or national trade, its market is limited and often sell in small lots, where in case of foreign trade, it is a broader market because it defines for whole of world, and the quantity would be large. Now let us understand that why this international uh, trade has come into existence. With the passage of time, what has happened in the economy, that we are bound to increase foreign trade. Now number one is difference in factor endowment in various countries, that is different countries have different factors of production and with different proportional. Besides, all the countries may not have all the factors that are necessary for production. In case if one country has excess, they might export, and in case if they are running in short of that particular cost of factors of production, they might import. Now let us understand what is cost of production. Suppose if there are all the factors are abundantly available, their cost would be comparatively cheap, and if you produce in that country, the goods produced will incur less cost. As a result, cost of production is low and profit earned is high. Number three, that is technological progress. All the countries do not achieve the same level of technical process. Besides, some would be having expertise in some technology, and we are not that updated, so we need to buy the technology from foreign countries. We are majorly dependent on them as far as technology is concerned. Division of labor and specialization. Because of huge population, we have ample of labor, and as a result, the cost of production would be low. Labor productivity would be higher. Efficient work, you can see, right? All such kind of things led to you know increase in international trade, or you can tell that there is was an emergency or need for international trade. Now let us understand what is the nature of international trade. Nature of international trade means that such special features and aspects of trade which gives it a unique identity from other activities. Right. Now please understand geographical and the occupational mobility of factors of production. There are four major importance of factors of production, which are those like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. Suppose America has capital, but they do not have labor, whereas if I talk about India, there is ample of labor, but we don't have adequate capital to start a unit, right? So this is one of the nature of international trade. Labor is less mobile in international trade, owing to the policy and social reasons, right? The second one is trade in many variety of goods, that is large variety of goods and services are made available through international trade. As a result, you can cater a huge market share. Every success and prosperity of international trade depends upon the variety of products what you are selling, right? And the third one is more challenging in nature, that is international trade is more challenging for traders because the environment, the language, the culture, the custom, the trade preferences, everything is different. Even the taste is also different. So you need to have knowledge of all such kind of things before entering into trading terms. Number 4, that is requirement of diplomatic efforts. For setting up and development of international trade, the efforts of traders solely are not enough. The government of every nation has to make diplomatic efforts. For example, in order to promote international trade in Gujarat, the state government has organized vibrant Gujarat summit. So what happened, we are inviting the foreign countries to invest in India and have profit. Both of them will have, even India can generate employment. As a result, unemployment would reduce in an economy, whereas foreign countries can earn profit by building an unit or industry in India. Okay, let us discuss the next one, that is knowledge and forecast regarding the value of different currencies. One must have, that suppose if payment terms are there, so on what terms the payment are made. Payment in international trade are to be made internationally acceptable currency, right? Some of them are not accepting our currency, then we need to convert it into either dollar or pound, depending upon in which country we are dealing to. Then number 6, that is joint effort of nations and international organization. International organization can develop only with the efforts of the government of various countries of the world. uh, and international organizations like that is World Trade Organizations, all these organizations are promoting international trade. Industry association have set up, there is a cooperation among the countries to deal or trade very easily, right? Then impact of political and social ideologies. There are certain political and social ideologies attached to every country. The size and the direction of international trade is greatly influenced by the political and social events taking place in the world. Suppose the trade relation between two nations get disturbed, suppose like world war, or even the rumors of war, the trade norms get destructed, internal trading between the traders are affected. All such things one should be aware of before dealing into international trade. There are some more nature of international trade. Let us discuss them very quickly. That is vast scale. The scale of international trade is vast. It is broader as compared to home trade. The reason is because there is number of variety of goods available. There are several rules and several organizations as well. Now involves more permission and taxes. One should have proper knowledge, and license is required for import and export, and what kind of goods and what are the trading norms of that country, what are the freight transport procedure, insurance terms, all such kind of things one should take care of before dealing into international trade. Even one should take care of quality and standards, because in the international trade these quality and standards are maintained very well. Now as we have seen that the scale is very vast, the other point is just connected to it, just connected to it that is uh, several countries of the world make attempt to produce a variety of goods and services. Hence, the degree of competition among them is very large, because there are more number of traders dealing into it. With this, I conclude nature of international trade. In case if you have any doubt, please let me know. Thank you.